This video shows you how to register an Informatica PowerCenter domain with Operational Insights. After you register the domain, you can use Operational Insights to monitor domain performance. As part of registering a domain, you configure the collectors that collect operational data and domain-related metadata from the domain, and then upload the data to Informatica Cloud where it is accessed by Operational Insights. The collectors run within the secure agent that enables communication between Operational Insights and the domain. You configure 4 collectors. The Domain Configuration Collector collects configuration metadata for the domain and all domain assets, including the system configuration for each node. The Domain Health Statistics Collector gathers availability statistics for domain assets, including nodes and application services. The Domain Resource Usage Statistics Collector collects CPU and memory consumption data for domain nodes. Finally, the PowerCenter Repository Collector collects runtime workflow and session metrics from PowerCenter repositories within the domain. After you log into Operational Insights, click Register Domain to launch the registration wizard. Enter the information required to enable Operational Insights to connect to the domain. You can get the information you need from the administrator tool you use to manage the domain. Find the domain name. Next, find the master gateway node host name and port. When you select 10.1.1 as the domain version, the wizard selects PowerCenter as the product. Select the secure agent group and the name of the secure agent the domain uses to communicate with Informatica Cloud. Enter the domain security details. Operational Insights must connect to the domain with an administrator account. Click Test Connection to test the connection to the domain. Next, enter details to help users find the domain within Operational Insights. You can use tags to categorize domains. Users can use the tags to search for the domains. You can select a tag or enter your own. Add the geographical location of the domain to the map that is displayed on the Operational Insights homepage. You can add the domain to an existing location or add a new location on the map. Now you configure the collectors. For the Domain Configuration Collector, you can modify the collector schedule. You can also modify the schedule for the Domain Health Statistics Collector. Next, configure the Domain Resource Usage Statistics Collector. You can choose to collect historical resource usage data. If you check the box, data is collected for the previous 30 days by default. Or you can configure the collector to collect up to 60 days of historical data. The collector gathers CPU and memory consumption metrics for domain nodes from the model repository specified in the monitoring configuration for the domain. Enter the properties needed to connect to the model repository database. You can find these properties by selecting the model repository service that manages the repository in the administrator tool. If needed, you can enter the properties required to connect to a secure database. You can also specify the name of the schema in the model repository database that contains monitoring data. Click Test Connection to test the connection to the repository database. Finally, configure the PowerCenter Repository Collector. As with the Domain Resource Usage Statistics Collector, you can choose to collect up to 60 days of historical data. Add each PowerCenter repository you want to collect data from. You can get the information you need from the administrator tool. Enter the name of the PowerCenter repository service that manages the repository and the information required to connect to the repository database. Click Test Connection to verify the connection configuration. Then click Save. Finally, click Save to save the registration configuration. The domain is now registered with Operational Insights.